You ever been talking to somebody and you know that if you don't ask the next follow-up question or say the next thing that it's just going to be dead silence, it's just going to be a dry-ass conversation? Well, there you go. That's an alarm bell right there. They might be using you for your energy and just using you in general. If they expect you, and if you're always leading the conversation, if you're always the one pushing it forward, man, reserve your energy, take a break, relax, step back, because that shit is exhausting and not worth it. Hello, hi, welcome to my space. I'm so glad to have you here. If this is your first time here, welcome. I'm so glad to see you. I hope you stick around and I hope you enjoy yourself. If this is your millionth time here, welcome back. I'm so glad you stuck around. Oh my goodness, you like me maybe. I don't know. My name is Douglas and I'm just glad to have you. I try to post content that's helpful in certain ways, you know, like I have a life experience and maybe it meshes with yours, maybe it doesn't, and maybe life is going well for you, or maybe it's not going well for you. But if it's not, just know it can get better. There's time. Don't give up. Don't give up. So before we start talking about today's video, I kind of do you ever relate to being the person that's just always on? Like you're either the center of attention, or you gotta be the one that brings the jokes, or your friend group always relies on you to keep the conversation going, or just you're that person. You can't really take a day off because if you do, people are like, oh, what's wrong? Are you okay? Are you mad? Are you sad? And it's like, no, I'm just trying to vibe. I'm just trying to exist. I used to do stand-up comedy and I was an actor, and like a lot of times my friend groups would rely on me for like their survival socially, and it was very exhausting. I always was expected to have jokes. I was always expected to be entertaining at the drop of a dime. I had to have just ready entertainment for you, and it was just very honestly objectifying. Like I wasn't a person anymore. I wasn't Douglas. I was the person that had to bring the heat. I had to bring the sauce. That's not a cut. All right, but you know what I'm saying? You might be that person that just has that good energy, and unfortunately with that good energy comes a lot of responsibility and a lot of downfalls because people take advantage of it, and then people end up like just kind of using you for that. They don't even care about you as a person. They just want how you make them feel. But I'm gonna talk today about ways to kind of maybe identify if you're being used for your energy. It happens subtly sometimes. Sometimes we don't even know what's going on. You can identify it quickly, or maybe it's just been a few years. Maybe these are people that are strangers. Maybe this is your best friend group. It could be family. But unfortunately, a lot of people out there just want to use you for what you're worth or what they want to get out of you. And when it comes to energy, like I would rather you use me for my manual labor than for my emotional and spiritual energy, because at least you can sleep and replenish your physical energy, you know what I mean? But like that the energy that comes from here, that sometimes you can be damaged and it just doesn't come back. And I want you to avoid that because I care about you. I want you to be better, and I want you to be good and enjoy your life. And if you have that good energy, you got to protect it, and you got to protect yourself. So we're going to talk about some ways to know that you're being drained of your energy, and maybe talk about some strategies for protecting yourself. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know how much time we've got. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let's talk about it. Hello. All right. So now I want to talk about ways to know you're being used for your energy. It sucks. It's the worst, and I hate it. But a lot of people do it, and a lot of people will keep doing it if you don't like acknowledge that it's happening. And if you look at your life, you might find that some of these things apply to you. So let's talk about it. All right, the first most obvious, like one of the most obvious ways to know is that they don't invest in your life. Like they don't post your art when you draw a new art, or they're not subscribed to your YouTube channel. They're not helping you share your things. You know, they're not helping get the word out about whatever content you're creating, or maybe you're in school and they're not boosting you up. They don't know the first thing about what's going on in your life. They don't know about the family drama you've got. They don't know that you broke up with your boyfriend or girlfriend. They don't invest in your life. And it's because they don't actually care. They just care about what you can do for them. That's a clear sign that they are just using you for your energy. Whatever you're giving to them, I promise you they don't deserve it. They're not worth it. If they're not invested in your life, I would back away. Because I mean, if I'm gonna invest in your life, why wouldn't you invest in mine? It's because they don't feel like they have to. They feel like they're getting exactly what they want out of you, and you're not going anywhere, and maybe you're not, but you don't have to do that. You don't have to continue doing that. You deserve to kind of have that reciprocated. It should be a back and forth It should be a conversation. You should both be mutually supportive of one another. But if they don't invest in your life, if they don't know the first thing about what's going on in your life, I would really highly reconsider that friendship or relationship. This might seem like a small thing, but they never come to see you. Maybe you're always going to their house. Maybe you're always going to visit them. Maybe they live out of state in another city, but they've never come to see you. They don't really care where you live. They've never been to your neighborhood. They don't know how to get to your house. That's a big sign. If you're always coming to them, if you're always bringing them the thing, or you're always catering to them, they might be using you for your energy. And maybe financially too, who knows? If you find yourself always hanging out at their place, you're always calling them, it's always that one-sided relationship, just be on the lookout, because they're not really treating you like you should be treated. They're not treating you like a person. They're treating you like a commodity. And I promise, if you pared it back, you'd probably stop hearing from them as much, because they're like, oh, I'm not getting what I want. So yeah, you might save yourself a little gas money if you don't go over there as much. You know what I'm saying? If you're always going to them though, if you're always bringing them the conversation, you're always bringing them your physical presence, that's a clear indication that they're using you for your energy. Similar to that is they always expect you to lead the conversation. Like, you've been talking to somebody and you know that if you don't ask the next follow-up question or say the next thing, that it's just going to be dead silence. It's just going to be a dry-ass conversation. Well, there you go. That's an alarm bell right there. They might be using you for your energy and just using you in general. If they expect you, and if you're always leading the conversation, if you're always the one pushing it forward, man, reserve your energy, take a break, relax, step back, because that shit is exhausting and not worth it. It's just boring to have a person that's not engaging in the conversation with you. So if you're always the one that's pushing it forward, you're always the one that's making the next step, I would highly recommend just kind of evaluating the importance of this person and that relationship, because they may not find it that valuable. Not valuable like you do. So I would just kind of like, if anything, if I was talking to a person and I felt like they weren't keeping the momentum equal or going or whatever, not participating. Now, of course, they could have anything going on in their life, and if it's just like a one-off or whatever, that's, whatever, use your discernment. But I would honestly just test it. I wouldn't do the next bit of conversation. I would wait for them to do it. If they don't do it, well, they may not want to talk to you. They may just want you to talk to them, and they may want to talk at you. And there's a big difference between talking with someone and talking at them. All right, a big sign that they're using you for your energy is that they come to you for help and then they completely disappear afterward. This could include not taking your advice. This could include taking your advice but then just not being present in your life at all until the next time they need something. It's just very exhausting when you clearly are only coming to me when you need something and then you're gone other times. That means you're not there when I need you. Again, you don't know what's going on in my life because you're not present, because you don't care to be present. You don't feel like you need to be present. And that's just not a way to have a friendship. It's not a way to have a relationship. I would just be on the lookout for that, because that happens all the time. They come to you and then they get what they need and then they're gone after that. That ain't a good look, Chief. Another clear sign that they're using you for your energy is that they always expect entertainment from you. This could be anything from jokes to, the life of the party, like I said earlier, or like they want you to come up with the social plans, or like if you're not involved in the social plan just doesn't happen. And that's not the same as them wanting you around. They just know that they are incapable of actually carrying on conversation or being social without an anchor person there. It kind of sucks to be that anchor person, because that just means that you're just there. Oh, my TV. Anyways, being the anchor person is not always great, because you're just being used again. You're not really being valued for who you are. If they are always expecting you to bring entertainment, if you got to be on point, on deck all the time, you always have to be on, you always have to bring the jokes, man, do yourself a favor, step back, see what happens when you don't tell a joke, or see what happens when you don't engage in whatever the conversation is. If it just dries up and then they stop talking to you, well, they maybe weren't your friend to begin with. Finally, a clear-cut way to know you're being used for your energy is that everything is on their terms. There is no dialogue. There is no conversation. It is not a back and forth. It is just take it or leave it. This is how I want things. This is what's happening. So you're going to their house. You're making, or they're making the plans. You have to be on point with the jokes. And the second they're done with you, they're gone. Like, they're gone until the next time they need you. If everything is on their terms, if you find yourself always catering to their will, buckling to their pressure, any pressure, I would really just take a step back and really evaluate, is this an important relationship to me? Am I getting what I need out of it? Am I being fulfilled? It shouldn't be a one-way street. It shouldn't always be on their terms. You should be able to make some decisions too. You should be able to have a dialogue. It shouldn't just be a take it or leave it, this is who I am, because that's just exhausting. And you deserve more than that. So many people will take you for granted and use you for what they feel you're worth, and it should stop. You deserve better. And there are people out there that will value you. They will want to have a conversation. They will want to have a back and forth. It's not just a one-way street. And on the flip side of that, you might be doing these things to somebody. So like, think about it. Are you treating somebody this way? If so, maybe take a step back and reevaluate your own actions, because it's not fun. I have been used like this so many times, and it's just not a good look. But I figure maybe this could help, because maybe some of you can relate. I don't know, what'd you think of this list? Was there anything I left off? I'm gonna do more videos like this, because I think they might be helpful. But let me know in the comments, like, was there anything I could have talked about? Comment below, let me know if you need some personal advice. I'd be happy to chat with you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Comment below, say, hey, what up? I subscribed. I'd love to hear from you. Don't forget, I post new content every Monday and Thursday. I post regular TikTok contents as my shorts. They're like every other day. I make music content a couple times a year. So just join my community. I think you'll like it. You deserve respect. You deserve to not be used just for your energy. You're worth a lot more than that. You're so valuable, and you have so much to offer the world. And don't let anybody tell you different. Don't let anybody treat you differently than that. We attract love, light, peace, safety, and security as long as we say we do. I will post more soon.